Chapter 5. Mental Healings in Modern Times. This chapter delves into the practical application of the subconscious mind's power for healing. It stresses that true healing comes not from external forces, but from within, through a deep understanding of the mind's mechanics and the unwavering application of belief. The chapter seeks to demystify the healing process, presenting it as a scientific application of mental principles rather than something miraculous or supernatural. It emphasizes that regardless of one's background or beliefs, the healing principle is available to all. The foundational principle. One process of healing. The core tenet of this chapter is that there is only one healing process: the power of the subconscious mind. This power is not limited by religion, race, creed, or any other external factor. The source material posits that different methods of healing, from faith healing to modern therapeutic approaches, are effective only because they engage the same fundamental principle of the subconscious mind. The effectiveness of any method lies not in the method itself, but in its ability to shift one's state of mind from fear, doubt, and anxiety to faith, expectancy, and confidence. Whether a person is aware of it or not, this one principle operates in every single person. This concept is foundational because it reframes the reader's perspective on healing. It suggests that instead of looking outwards for a cure, one must cultivate an understanding of their inner world and harness the inherent power within. It's not about finding the right ritual or medication, but rather about understanding that true healing is an inside job, a transformation of consciousness. The law of belief. The chapter underscores that the law of belief is paramount in mental healing. It is not what one believes, but the belief itself that generates results. This is not an invitation to blind faith, but rather an encouragement to understand the power of one's convictions. Any method of healing, whether religious, scientific, or otherwise, is effective because it redirects a person's mind from negative to positive expectations. The subconscious mind then responds to these expectations. The law of belief acts as a foundational principle that directs the power of the subconscious. For example, a person's belief in a new medical treatment or faith in a particular prayer both work because the belief itself impresses the subconscious mind, activating the body's healing processes. The key is not whether the treatment or prayer is inherently powerful, but rather if the individual's mind is persuaded to accept the prospect of recovery. Prayer therapy. A scientific approach. Scientific prayer, as presented in chapter, is not merely a religious ritual but rather a harmonious interaction of the conscious and subconscious minds directed towards a specific purpose. This form of prayer is scientific because it utilizes a methodology that acknowledges how the mind works, as well as a specific process for its application. It requires that the conscious mind first become still, relaxed, and focused on the infinite healing power within. This concept resonates with the idea that before one can effect change, they must first quiet the noise of their own mind. When you still the mind, it then becomes receptive to the power within. The chapter proposes several steps in practicing prayer therapy. Stilling the conscious mind. This involves creating a state of mental stillness, often through relaxation techniques, meditation, or quiet contemplation. Relaxation and letting go. This step includes releasing tension in the body, as physical relaxation is linked to mental receptivity. Focusing on the healing presence. This entails concentrating on the inherent power of the subconscious mind to heal, understanding it as an ever-present and available source of wisdom and strength. Turning over the request. This step is about relinquishing conscious effort and allowing the subconscious mind to take over, trusting in its ability to provide the answer. Believing in the outcome. This is the act of having faith that the request is already being answered, feeling the reality of that outcome now rather than in the future. This systematic approach to prayer therapy aligns with the idea that mental processes can be directed with intention. It suggests that the mind can be a tool for creating well-being, that when used purposefully and with conviction, one can tap into the boundless wisdom and power within. The chapter offers practical steps that anyone can apply, emphasizing the importance of quiet focus and trust. Faith healing. Blind faith versus understanding. The chapter tackles the topic of faith healing by making a critical distinction between subjective faith and blind faith. Blind faith, as the text describes, is belief without understanding. The source explains that while this blind faith can also be effective, it often relies on powerful suggestions or external rituals that bypass conscious reasoning. For example, the text references a case where a man was cured of paralysis through the power of suggestion, where he believed a thermometer to be an instrument for his healing. Subjective faith, on the other hand, is based on understanding how the mind works. Those who apply subjective faith are aware of the mechanics of how beliefs, thoughts, and expectations influence the subconscious. They approach prayer not as an act of supplication, but as a means of directing the power within them. This understanding empowers individuals to be active participants in their healing, rather than passive recipients of external miracles. Both forms of faith, the text explains, utilize the power of the subconscious, but subjective faith is considered more empowering and sustainable because it fosters a greater understanding and awareness of the power within. It encourages individuals to engage with the power they possess, rather than relying on external agents, objects, or rituals. Or absent treatment. Healing beyond the physical. The concept of absent treatment, also referred to as prayer at a distance, emphasizes that the power of the mind transcends the limitations of space and time. The chapter explains that healing can be achieved even if the person being prayed for is not physically present. This is because the subconscious mind is not limited by physical constraints, and it is linked to a universal intelligence that operates everywhere simultaneously. The healing energy or force can be directed towards an individual regardless of their location, emphasizing the interconnectedness of all minds. This idea underscores the potential of the mind to affect reality beyond the boundaries of the physical world. It suggests that with focus, intention, and belief, one can influence the health and well-being of another, no matter how far away they may be. Releasing the kinetic action. The power of sleep. A significant point in chapter is the explanation of the kinetic action of the subconscious mind, particularly as it relates to sleep. The text suggests that the subconscious mind is not dormant during sleep. It is continuously at work, and the impressions made upon it before sleep can have profound effects. This means that the thoughts and ideas one entertains before falling asleep become the focus of the subconscious mind during the sleep period. This underscores the importance of directing the subconscious with positive and constructive thoughts, such as health, harmony, and peace. The chapter also cautions that negative thoughts before sleep can also have a detrimental effect, which can affect the individual on a mental, emotional, and physical level. The technique of using a simple phrase like wealth or health as a lullaby is presented as a way of programming the subconscious with positive intention during sleep. By giving the subconscious positive direction before sleep, one is harnessing its power during its most active time. This understanding of the subconscious mind's continued activity during sleep provides an opportunity to tap into its healing power by feeding it with positive and constructive thoughts. Aids to Health Summary. Practical Applications chapter culminates in a practical summary of key points, presented as aids to health. These act as actionable steps that readers can take to apply the principles of mental healing in their lives. Correct directions. Realizing that providing correct directions to the subconscious mind can bring about healing of both mind and body. This implies the importance of purposeful and positive thoughts, as well as the importance of letting go of negative beliefs and thoughts. Plan and request. Creating a deliberate plan for turning requests over to the subconscious mind. This involves developing the habit of engaging with the subconscious mind intentionally and not simply allowing thoughts to occur by chance. Imagine and feel. Imagining the desired outcome and feeling its reality. This emphasizes that true belief involves a visceral and emotional engagement with the outcome, rather than just an intellectual agreement. Thoughts create reality. Knowing that belief is a thought and that thoughts have the power to create reality. This reinforces the idea that one's mental landscape directly affects the external world. Choose beliefs. Choosing to believe in health, prosperity, peace, wealth, and divine guidance. This is a call to actively direct one's mind towards constructive and positive beliefs, rather than passively accepting negative ones. Apply prayer therapy. Utilizing the techniques of prayer therapy and uniting mentally with a chosen idea. This emphasizes that healing is not something that happens to a person, but something one does intentionally.